Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Lucian, and I have the privilege of being a host with Karen. Today, we're going to be focusing this time on building the positive reality, the topic. So this will be the focus for this wonderful event that we're having together. So with that, just to allow everyone to feel a little bit more at ease, let's just go around the room. People introduce themselves and say where they're from. So maybe I just let Karen. Are you able to go, Karen?
Yes, hi, I am Karen and I am from South Carolina.
I'm Gary. I'm from Pasadena, LA, California.
Hi everyone, I'm Nina. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Good to be with you.
I'm Gianni. I'm from Brooklyn and I'm a high school teacher slash coronavirus homeschool educator. And I'm glad to be here.
Hi, I'm Betsy from Port Washington, New York on Long Island. It's nice to see you all.
Hi, I'm John from South Carolina by way of Maryland.
Hi, I am Alisa from Brooklyn, New York.
I'm Roberta from Huntington, New York, Long Island. Nice to be here tonight.
Hi, I'm Eva from Brooklyn. There's a lot of us today here. Very good to be with you today.
Yes, I'm also from Brooklyn. I was born in Haiti, been living here for about 15 years.
Hi, I'm Paula from New York. Great to see you.
Has everyone had an opportunity to introduce themselves? Okay, in that case, I think we have. Welcome to the Open Diner. Oh, go ahead. Somebody.
Marlene, just unmute yourself so you can speak. If it's at the bottom, or go on your picture and hit the little three little dots, and you see unmute. Click on, put your cursor. Oh, sorry, everyone. Put your cursor on your picture.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes,
Can
we
you
hear
hear me
you.
now?
Hey.
I'm on with patients during the day, and I've been using it with them and recording. And of course, when all of you are on, I don't know how to do anything. I become totally inept. Hi, everybody. I'm from Sands Point, New York. There's somebody else from Port Washington. Who's from Port Washington? Raise your hand if you're from Port Washington. Hi, Betsy. Sands Point, we're neighbors. And we're quarantined, yes. Oh, it's so nice to meet you too. This is super. This is really, of course, my dinner. I first have to go inside and cook my dinner. I wanted to give a quick hi to everybody, that's all. And come back the next time and say hi with my dinner, with my honey jack. I don't drink wine. With a little bit of honey jack and my dinner. You're laughing. Okay, I see. Yeah. Honey jack is better than wine. And hi, everybody. You're eating. I don't know. You're drinking. I have everything inside. I just came back. I was out somewhere, so I had to come back. Oh, wow.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you so much for that. And so now we're going to move into our music video. And can we have that clip of that music video, please? Thank you.
It's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you know how. It's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you're doing it now. We've gotta trust each other blindly, and only then would we have eyes to see. What we make of life, it never comes easy. Our hearts are tempered by adversity. And it's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you know how. It's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you're doing it now. Like a baby crying out to his mother, so we all have to cry out for each other. And like a willow bending with the breeze, so we're bending at each other's needs. It's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you know how. It's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's so easy when you're doing it now.
Wow, thank you so much for playing that. That was from a friend of ours named Jesse, and he made that specifically for us tonight. He couldn't be here with us because he has some internet issues. And, so let's just, even though he's not here, he can feel our energy if he just lets us know how much we really, really appreciate it. Him taking the time to make that video for us and to share with us in the open diner tonight. And so now we're going to move into, we have a game, the icebreaker that we want to play with you. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a sentence together. And this sentence is going to be about a positive reality. So everyone is just going to say one word as we build this sentence. And our brother Lucian, our friend Lucian, he's going to be writing down in the chat everyone's word as we build this sentence. And so I'm going to try to start us off in a direction that I hope will help us build a beautiful sentence on how do we build a positive reality with one word. And we'll probably have to go around a few times to get the whole sentence. I'll start with two, a positive. And I'll choose Betsy.
So I just say a positive word?
Well, no, we're building a sentence. We're thinking about building a sentence that talks about a positive reality. So a positive reality starts with or happens, it's like I don't want to build the sentence on my own. So a positive, if you get where I'm coming from, we have to build this sentence ourselves, adding one word apiece.
Choice. Positive choice.
Sunshine? And then I choose somebody? Just shake.
We could, I mean, it could go popcorn, guys. You can just,
Yeah, I
whoever
think popcorn would work best with this. Whatever comes to your mind. Thank you, Lucian. Yeah, whatever comes to your mind after you hear somebody say something, then just speak the next word. And we're building this sentence together on a positive reality.
Okay, so sunshine was my word, right? That's it. I'm out. Is that right? Correct. Okay.
Patience.
Acceptance.
Creates.
Loving.
Good.
Trust.
Beauty. Sorry.
What was that? Say again.
Beauty.
Beauty.
Optimism.
Okay, wait a second. All right, so I've got the sentences. A positive choice, sunshine, patience, acceptance creates loving trust, beauty, and optimism.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah,
Okay.
give Lucian just a second in between so
Okay.
that because he's typing. So
Okay, so maybe we can end with that sentence and start again. I think that's a good sentence.
No, comma. Therefore we need to. Therefore we need to.
Share.
Say again.
Share with one another. Share. Smiley.
I didn't catch. Did
share
anyone
with
catch-
one another.
Oh, share with. No, therefore we need to share one. Thank you.
And connect.
And
Our
connect
open hearts.
Our open hearts.
And accept
And
each
accept.
other.
So I'm going to put it in the chat so you can take a look, and then if you wanted to build, you can build. So it's no, therefore we need to share with one another and connect our open hearts and accept each other.
With loving kindness.
For the sake of.
Better reality.
Perfect.
You rounded up.
You did it. That's a beautiful sentence. Great.
We did it. Yay.
Can we do it once more? We're getting really good at this, Karen.
Actually, we're going to do it later on again. If we have time to do another one, we can.
You're a party pooper, Karen.
No, I'm not a party to poop. Let's do it again, but we're going to do it again later.
We should publish it. Write a book and publish it.
Lucian, can you read it out loud to us, please?
Oh, so it's in the chat, so I'll read it. No,
Let's do the
therefore,
first crowdsourced book of all time.
Johnny's got a great idea. I love it. Yeah, it's there in the chat, so if you want to take a look.
They're asking you to read it.
I'll
please.
read it. All right. All right. No, therefore, we need to share with one another and connect our open hearts and accept each other with loving kindness for the sake of a better reality. Very well done.
Very well done. Teamwork makes the dream work. Yes, I love it.
So you want to go continue then? Is that right? We've got the part is the video. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, yeah. So we've got the video. Yeah.
Yeah, we did the video. So now we're moving on to our roundtable discussion. And so this moves us into the segment where this is our main course while we're here to have this main course at our meal. And as adults, we are always so serious. And so right now we want to just put our minds at rest. We don't want to be so serious now. We want to have the mind of a child. We want to go back to our childhood. We want to go way, 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 way back. And we want to focus on that little inner child in us that just wants to have a story told to us. So Lucian is going to read a quote from The Little Prince. Lucian?
Sure. Okay. So like Karen said, a lot of the times we are so serious, and The Little Prince is one of those books that more or less says stop, and smell the roses, literally, right? Smell them, because if you read that book, you know how precious a rose is to him. So I'm just going to take one of my very favorite quotes here. So the little prince tamed the fox, and when the hour of his departure drew near, "Ah," said the fox, "I shall cry." "It is your own fault," said the little prince. "I never wished you any sort of harm, but you wanted me to tame you." "Yes, that is so," said the fox. "But now you're going to cry?" said the little prince. "Yes, that is so," said the fox. "Then it has done you no good at all." "It has done me good," said the fox, "because of the color of the wheat fields." And then he added, "Go and look again at the roses. You will understand now that yours is unique in all the world. And now here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." "What is essential is invisible to the eye," the little prince repeated, so that he would be sure to remember. So what would be really cool, everybody, here in this part of the discussion or in the main course, is for us, as we continue to feel each other and grow in this beautiful connection, is to understand what it would be like to be a child again. Describe for us what a positive world would look like from a child's perspective. So see if we can maybe build this positive reality through the eyes of a child. Does anyone want to start?
Yeah, I'll start.
Please.
I remember growing up in Virginia, how it was just so easy for, me and my friends just to greet one another. And then after we greet one another, we would just be arm in arm, like walking down the street together or walking, just, buds. You don't see that much. And so the innocence was just like there, because all you felt is this huge desire just to want to be connected to your friend with like no calculations, just pure. It's beautiful.
I can continue with remembering as a child I grew up on the Atlantic Ocean, literally, in a town called Bell Harbor, and we had a private beach on the Atlantic Ocean. As a child, I used to sit there and look out at the water, never ending, and watch boats far in the distance, and then venture onto the jetties to jump in the water. And the water just was so vast, so beautiful. The smell of the water, the flow of the water. I think it was my solace as a child and continues to be as an adult. Just a wonderful childhood memory of water and its unending beauty. That's it. Took me right back then. Was that heard?
Yeah, you were heard.
Oh, okay. Come on. Next person,
Well,
I want to hear.
Well, I'll continue. That reminded me of when I was a kid, and my favorite thing was either building roads and how going outside in the dirt and playing around the bushes and the trees and making make-believe communities and make-believe roads and playing with Lincoln logs and building houses, and everything was like perfect. It was just like a perfect environment. And then you get older and you realize that there's a lot more complications to life, and you realize that things aren't always as nice as they were when you were a kid. Things get political, or things get angry, or things get whatever. But just to go back to that simple life when we could, anything that you can imagine, it could be, the perfect world. And but yeah, I go back to that sometimes and bask in that whole thing, that feeling, of just where everybody gets along, everybody loves each other. That's it from me.
You guys reminded me of like what is really quintessential about being a kid. because I grew up in two places. I grew up in San Francisco, but then I also, for some reason, lived in Arkansas on the water, and Marlene reminded me of that. We had like a little boat, and we would go fishing every day, but I had some good friends. And why was I friends with these particular kids who I loved so much? I was friends with them because they lived next door to me. And this situation kind of reminds me of that. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know any of you, and I'm like just talking to you because you joined this Zoom. And it's kind of like the same thing. Like, your best friends when you grow up, who like you love the most, just happen to be the people who are next door to you, and therefore like you connect with them, and you have really the time of your life just because they happen to be there, and they're the ones that were available to connect with.
Beautiful, you're right. Yep. Our friendship.
Hey, and I'll finish because I tell the story a lot to people that I now work with about my childhood and how I wish everyone could have grown up where I grew up in the Bronx. It was near City Island, and every nationality and religion, I think I was very lucky. I mean, I want to say the neighborhood was 50% maybe Caucasian, and then 50% everything else, Spanish, Asian, African American, from all over the world. It just so happened. So as a child, I grew up with so much diversity, and it was just my norm. And I feel like as a child, if everyone could grow up with every religion, I mean, we had from Jewish to Buddhist to just everything, to Muslim. And it's just always been that neighborhood's reality. And I just feel like if everyone could have grown up knowing the diversity of many, this world would be such a different place. I always wish that on everyone, that they could just grow up with, just not just themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think going away to schools was perhaps, many of us did, going away to different colleges, maybe in different states, and the different people. All of a sudden, I knew I grew up in Bell Harbor, surrounded by water, a little tiny community. And I will say, unlike you, what is it, Pamela, unlike you, my parents grew up in the Bronx. Unlike you, my community was totally separated. The Jews were here. The Italian Catholics were here. There was Irish Town. There was Hispanic. There was Black. It was, unfortunately, all different communities. And when we would meet was not in the elementary schools, because the elementary schools were also within the small communities. It was in high school. All of a sudden, it's like, oh my goodness, hi. All different types of friendships were there. And it was just an eye-opener. And then going away to college on top of it, going out of state and seeing how people live. I went to Boston, how people live there, and all the different universities and all the different students that were there. Life was a grand eye-opener to where we are now, even Betsy, in Port Washington, where we have everybody in Port Washington. I had a choice where I was going to move, and the Port Washington community is so culturally and economically inclusive. It was a great place to bring up my children, and that's what I have now. Of course, my children are out, but that's how they grew up. And I had every kind of kid sleeping here, and parents dropping them off, because we have land here. It's like a little bit of country, similar in Port Washington, a little bit different than where I am in Sandpoint. So we had to go into Port Washington to be with more people, but everybody was in my home. My home was the United Nations. My kids are like that now. And it was just a wonderful way for me to have them grow up, and which made me who I am today. And I wish the world was as inclusive as our Port Washington is. Even though we
Wow,
have,
thank you,
I
thank
really
you.
do. I really do. Yeah.
That's a wonderful, wonderful addition. Anybody else? We have maybe a few more minutes. Anybody else?
Maybe our guests, any of our guests, have all the guests spoken? Is it?
I want to tell you, I ran a group, on a meetup group for this is my 11th year, and it's a movie dining group. And we go to the movies and we go out to dinner. Listen to what we did up until 3 months ago. Every Sunday we went to the movies.
Can
and
you
then
guys
we went,
hear me?
No, now we can, but we also didn't hear the gentleman with the glasses, 605.
Is this almost
Mute me.
over?
It's only just begun.
Oh, thank
Yes, yes,
Need
it's
to
just begun. It's
reset
just begun.
reality, guys. Do not leave me
And
now.
actually, we have a second portion to this portion of the diner, and we're going to move on to that second portion of it. And
Oh, wait, Karen, before you go,
Yeah,
it looks
go
like
ahead.
Frank is dying. It's
Yeah,
just
he doesn't
Okay.
realize he's muted.
Okay,
Frank.
okay, thank you, Frank. Yes, please.
Frank, you're muted.
Frank, we can't hear you. You're talking to
can't hear
God
you.
only. Come on.
Can you hear me now?
There
Yes.
you go. Yay.
We
Okay.
have ventilators and everything. We're all set up.
In a nutshell, the fact that we're older in years does not mean we have to lose our childhood joys. Look, I know one has to deal with the complexities of our world and maturities, but one can still enjoy the sea, the fresh air in the countryside, the breeze in nature, beautiful music, children walking by. There's so much, one should not have to be old when one goes on in years. Youth is in your heart. So I'm still a child, don't worry. Thank you for letting me talk.
Frank, it's so good to see you again. Oh my God, and everyone.
I'm good to see myself. I shaved to make sure I look good for the group.
They say on Zoom, all we do is look at ourselves. It's ridiculous. I'm not going to.
Thank you, Lucian.
Oh, yes, so
You're
good
welcome.
to see
Okay,
you
Karen,
again,
go do it.
Frank,
Yes.
Nancy, and so good to see our return visitors and new friends coming here to visit us. Yes, thank you. And so now we want to go on to the second portion of this exercise. And what steps can we take to bring everything that we spoke about, reminiscing back to our childhoods? So what steps can we take to bring this into reality now? Please,
Okay,
someone who has not had a time to speak yet, someone else who has not had a chance to speak. We want to
Can you
move
let me
on.
know what the concept is, or so I can listen to what everybody says and know what is going on?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Maybe Lucian, can you say a few words about the round discussion? I think.
Yeah, sure. So Nancy, what we're doing here is we're looking at the world as it could be through the eyes of a child. So we reminisced as being children and the beauties we saw and what we'd like to see, in the world. So we were imagining, that. So we're trying to use that, as Karen said, to say, how can we now make those dreams that we once had, no matter how young or old we are, those childlike dreams into reality? So we should try to be brief, so we could let everyone speak. So let's be brief, to the point, and be respectful. Thank you.
Great.
I'm going to say get out in nature and play and enjoy.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Frank.
Okay, briefly, every day when you should get up is by realizing the things you have to do because we're adults, haha. But ask yourself, what can I enjoy what is a beautiful day. The sun is out. The trees are getting green. There's some fun things in the street. And be a child while meeting your adult responsibilities. Thank you.
I guess keep exploring, keep wandering around. We are losing it in you know, with our adult responsibilities, but the wonder is still there.
The most exciting thing for me when I was a kid was I couldn't wait to see my friends and play with them, you know, and we should have that same anticipation of seeing our friends and connecting with them and enjoying being with them. That's one thing that does it for me, really.
Correct.
Me too. I'm having a hard time now, but I think what I need to do is meditate and use my rowing machine because it's a hard time for me now.
I used to be a rower in college, and just by the way, and I think exercise is really important. I also think that you can also. I had a conversation with my boss this morning on Zoom, and it was very unpleasant. And I like this atmosphere actually of just like not knowing each other and like not having any baggage. And I can look at somebody like Frank, and I could be like, he has like the kind of attitude I wish I had in life. Like it's so childlike. It's like he's gotten over like all the silly hangups of life, and he just like looks at it in this positive way. So you can like look at other people and see like their perspective and see if you can adopt a little bit of that.
That's a good idea.
I just, if I could just, I know I take too much time, but Gianni made me think about the idea of playing. I think, you know, as adults, we forget how much fun it is to just play around, you know, whatever it is, to joke around, to have time at work. The boss put together this like coffee area or lounge area, but nobody uses it because everybody's so serious, everybody's so busy. But when I go there, I like to joke and drink coffee and just play around. And I think we've forgotten that. I'd like to see more of us big people play around.
I know. There you go.
Yeah, just to add to Lucian, I remember when I had my son, maybe he got to be like 6 or 7 years old. I was probably like 32, 33, something like that. And he used to always say, "Dad, play with me. Dad, play with me." And I couldn't do it. And I didn't realize at the time until like later on in life, like I couldn't do it because I had forgotten how to play. Life kind of forces you to grow up so fast that you forget like just how to just be and be with other people and kind of put everything over to the side and just connect to those places inside of us where we're kind of all just there together.
Find the Peter Pan inside you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
I wanted to make fun. I wanted to have fun in the house and something I could take outside because we're now permitted outside with a group less than 10. So I bought a ping pong table. I haven't played ping pong, goodness knows. But it's a minimum, I think it's 6 or 8 feet from side to side. So I said, well, there's social distancing, and you can wear your mask or your social distancing and play ping pong. So I played ping pong. It is so fun to play
Oh,
ping
you're
pong
making me
now.
feel good.
Yeah. I was a tennis player, but now, you know, playing ping pong. It's something to do. It's childlike, but it's a lot of fun. It's fun. We have to find things to do inside, outside. Any of our creativity and talents that we have, or it's fabulous. I was speaking to a patient today who has the most beautiful voice, and she plays golf, and she has so many talents, and she's beautiful. and she's in the house in bed, almost 24/7. She just can't motivate herself being alone what to do. So we're working on getting her singing on the golf course, to do something. If we have whatever talents we have, it's so great. I'm a therapist, of course. I'm a psychologist. So here
So
I am.
Marlene, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to continue. I'm so sorry. We're gonna now go into something that's gonna contrast this beautiful part now with a little bit more serious, so that we can see the difference. So, if we can show the video to kind of give us a sense of this positive reality connection from a more adult perspective.
Can I say one thing quick?
Yes, please.
Marlene, baby, you got the idea. I gotta go find a ping pong table myself. That's so good.
All right, get serious now, everybody. We're getting serious. Roll the video.
I'm glad to be not serious. Thank God. Okay.
I believe the issue is how can we cause the largest number of people to understand that we are in fact all one, to understand our unity.
The environment has to be changed so that we are supported in a way where we respect each other, while our value systems have to understand that we cannot survive any longer through our logical reasoning with the competitive mentality that's been perpetuated for so many generations. If the environment continues to reinforce this selfishness, it's going to be that much more difficult to climb out of it. So if we create an environment that helps us to have the courage to give, and it rewards and reinforces giving, then I think we'll move much more quickly into that type of bestowal mentality.
What we're beginning to see now is the fall of all the major institutions, whether it's economy, politics, education, healthcare, every fundamental level of institution in the world. So there's going to have to be changes at every level. And it starts with education and awareness. Why? Because the knowledge we bought into of who we are and why we're here turns out to be archaic beliefs that are not supporting our survival. We have to go from our old limiting beliefs that brought us to the current state of the world, rewrite those beliefs so that as we take the next step forward, we do so with new awareness, new power, and a new understanding of where we want to go. So we need to change education.
Just imagine what would happen if we changed our environment completely. What if we would constantly hear in the news, through art, entertainment, advertisement, that we're all interdependent, that we're all interconnected as one integral system? How would our world look like? How would you relate to all the others in that system?
You would suddenly begin to feel that you relate to others as somewhat close to you. You will be less concerned about how do I exploit the other, how do I manipulate others, take advantage of them. You'd begin to see that the other person is somehow close to you. You'll have some affinity towards the others, like they belong to you. You'll start considering them just like you think about your children or your family. You take them into consideration when you think about doing something in life. You think, how will it affect them? So that is the kind of change we need to go through. And it can happen to us through the proper environment that we create for ourselves.
Well, we have these negative emotional brain circuits of competitiveness and greed and jealousy and anger and what have you, but we can also create a reality in which we make positive emotions for ourselves and in our relationships, and we can create positive emotional brain circuits. Brain circuits that we have created by voluntary acts of loving, deliberately, by practicing. That will then mollify the negative emotional brain circuit. so we can overcome our base desires.
We began to think of emotions as having a kind of collective identity, as if they're emotional stampedes in human populations, a kind of a quiet riot that is just below the surface at all times. Because when we mapped this network, we were able to find clusters of happy and unhappy people in the network, and we were able as well to show that happy people are able to influence others to become happy, and that happiness can spread from person to person to person to person.
And it's this kind of view of the human superorganism that has really started to change the way we think about ourselves as human beings. We are connected. We are connected in ways that these other social species are, like schools of fish and flocks of birds.
Animals have this. So-called primitive people have this. We have seemed to have lost it through our intensive egoistic orientation. If you recover this connection, then we will behave with greater solidarity to each other. We will extend our solidarity that exists in a family. We can extend it over larger areas, ultimately to the whole human family and to the living environment.
We can encourage people in all walks of life, in all kinds of organizations, to come to the notion of true global family and implementing the kind of world we really all dream of.
What has increasingly been found is that the happiest people have vibrant social networks. They work hard at cultivating the relationships with other people. So it's the togetherness, the bringing people together that brings people the most joy.
All right, perfect, everyone. So we got to see a little bit more serious sort of understanding of this element of building a positive connection in reality. So with that in place, what I would like now to do is to allow Karen to introduce this next exciting element that we've already done, but we're going to look at it in a little bit of a different spin. So Karen, please.
Yes, thank you, Lucian. And so after taking in the flavor of everything that we've done, from going back to being a child and just seeing that wonderful video of how we still live in this reality as adults and we have to behave as adults. And so just taking the two aspects, and now we're going to go back and do the same exercise over again that we did in the beginning. And we're going to build another sentence together about how do we build this positive reality. But now we want to understand that we're going to build this positive reality both with that child aspect in the mind, in the back of our minds, but also understanding that we are adults and we have to live in this reality as adults. So now we want to start again with that same exercise. So I want to start off, let's start off with Gary, please.
When you see someone else
walking towards
Smile.
you,
Smile.
walking towards you,
And they look a little lost.
So everyone, it's in the chat, so take a look if you want to see the sentence build.
You can ask, what are you looking for?
And you give them your time.
Or you say, can I help you?
And your kindness.
How much joy can you bring them?
So let me state the sentence so everyone can get the feel. When you see someone else walking towards you, smile, and they look a little lost, you can ask them, what are you looking for? And you give them your time, and you can say, how can I help you? And your heart, how much joy you can bring them.
And listen to them.
Because I see times are changing.
And don't judge them.
But you make their life better.
And make a heart and smile.
Okay, Frank, may I talk?
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Okay. But at this time with COVID-19, perhaps there's more of that humanity togetherness than there normally is, because everyone has a degree of concern and in a way a sense of united in trying to preserve themselves. I wonder how the people feel if COVID-19 is bringing people together as human beings more.
That's a long sentence there, Frank. I can't type that fast.
But it's very true.
Yeah, it's so true.
It is true. Just try to take the meat out of it.
I want to apologize to everyone. I have to leave. I'm watching the NCE. My food is cooking in the kitchen. I have to go and eat. I'm so sorry. I will join you. I promise the next time. I want to thank you all. This was a very special time. Very, very special.
See you next week.
Each and every one of you.
Thank you, Marlene. Definitely join us again. Thank you.
So much.
You're with us in spirit, Marlene.
Wonderful having you here.
I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to see you the next time. Just send me out. I'm there. Thank
It's
you.
mutual.
Nancy, enjoy your food.
Come back next week. Thank you.
Yes. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Okay, Lucian, can you read that sentence for us again?
Sure. So when you see someone else walking towards you, smile. And if they look a little lost, you can ask, what are you looking for? And you can give them your time. And you can say, can I help you? And your heart, how much joy can you bring them? And listen to them, because I see times are changing. Don't judge them, because you make their life better, and you make a heart and a smile. That's so beautiful. Very well done, guys.
Wow, very, very well done. That's an excellent sentence. Beautiful, as you said. And so now we are going to play another video from our friend Jesse, who we already saw one of his beautiful videos that he did for us. And we have one more coming your way. Thank you, Jesse, for taking the time to film these beautiful videos for us. Please.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think Jesse's going to be able to. It looks like he's experienced some internet difficulties, like you said. So we'll probably have to go to the other video. I'm sorry about that. But we're going to get a command performance next week from Jesse. He's going to have to give it to us. So
awesome.
So Rono, yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys.
Stuck in the mud, don't know which step to take. I don't know if I'll make it before I break. Take me, friends, I am yours. I'd buy you for all the money in the world. Where, oh, where can I find what I lost? Do I have the strength to carve it into my heart. The futility is killing me. Let me plug in, I need a real kickstart. What can I tell you that you don't already know? I just move the words around, trying to make a flow. Without you, I'm home alone. Without me, you need. And shake on it and bake on it and drink on this guarantee. La 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 la. Again, we're meeting in another place. Has it been so long that we've been hurled into space? Touch me now, I'm dreaming. I wanna feel something I just can't feel. Something that's better, something that stays, something that won't go away. Something that's better, something that stays, something that won't go away. La 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 la
Wow, thank you. Thank you for sharing that music video with us. And even though we couldn't have Jesse live today, we saw his video earlier, and that's another great friend of ours, Seth. We want to thank, him for sharing that video with us. And I think that video pretty much encompassed everything that we went through during this meal together, from, the seriousness, the being a child, and just the way that it incorporated everyone as he was singing, the people coming in and out, that's all we're here for, is that feeling of togetherness. And children understood that better than adults. We've kind of lost that. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to that inner child that understands that we all just want to be close to each other. Before the adult set in and said, I have to go off and get mine and do mine and worry about my family. We're all just that inner child crying out to be reconnected with each other. And I think that video really, really, really showed us how much we long for that, and how much, because the way we shared earlier, we're capable of it. We just have to remember it. And so we just, in closing words, want to raise a toast. Thank you all for being here. And now it's a time for us to all just relax, share our impressions of our dinner together. And I will start off with Pamela. And then please, as you listen to Pamela, anybody that wants to just step in and open up their hearts and share their hearts about this beautiful connection that we just established here.
So this is my second week, and I'm so glad that I made it. I was scrambling to be able to make sure I got here, and I think I will always try to make sure I get here for as long as these go on. It's just lovely, and seeing all your faces. I think I've fallen in love with Frank, He's like the uncle I've never had. I just adore you, Frank. You're just so wonderful to listen to. You make my heart light. And yeah, that's it, Gary. I'm looking at all the names, and Gianni and Rono, if I'm saying your name correctly. Yeah, it's just everybody's beautiful faces. It's just so nice to see you all, and I'm so grateful to be here. Oh, Frank, we can't hear you.
Mute. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, amen. I'll be brief. All men and women are brothers, period. Think about that.
Somebody said something earlier about seeing somebody they've never met before, and it's like a clean slate. It's like you don't have any baggage and everything. That's one thing I like is always looking at people like I've never seen them before, like they're somebody new, and not trying to hold them into some kind of a box. So anyway, I appreciate that about this group too. It's just like, it's like fresh.
I look forward to this group each week. This is my third or fourth time here, and I just like the positive energy that everyone brings, and the smiling faces, and it's just so nice to have a group of strangers and just feel very comfortable. So thank you all for welcoming me.
Yeah, I want to say that it is so easy to open mic and start talking. It is very beautiful what is happening here. It's not the usual situation, but I hope it will be a usual situation the more we accustomed to talk to, openly, going back to our childhood, remember how we, communicated back then, bring it back.
I just wanted to say that, I've been coming to these from the beginning, and I hope that we can continue to have these events. And I think the connections that are being formed during these gatherings are very precious, and it's wonderful to see Frank and Betsy and Gary. I've been listening to you a few times, and even though we're kind of strangers, but I feel like I know you already a little bit, and that's nice. So I hope it continues.
Yeah, there's this the feeling like when you return to, it's like returning to like a 0 point, and there's so much like felt in that space, and we all kind of like share it together. It's really incredible what's happening. And when it comes down to it, all the experiences, when you kind of like unravel them all together, they're kind of different, but yet somehow they're all the same and very familiar. Thank you.
I wrote on Facebook last night. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I wrote on Facebook last night a whole bunch of stuff about how it's just so nice to know every Thursday night we're going to have dinner and just, I don't know, I just like it. I said, it's a community and it's so nice. After last time, I was thinking, I was so happy. And all of a sudden, I envisioned this open space to my right. And it was like a new world of mine that I was walking into. And yeah, it's like, hello. It was, yeah, it's cool. I guess a piece of my world expanded. And thanks, you guys.
That's actually a perfect ending, Nancy. Thank you. I have to just build off of your words. A perfect new world, just relaxing, And thank you all for coming. And we just want to go over and find out if there was anybody asking questions in the chat or saying anything in the Facebook chat that, you know, we want to share with the friends here tonight.
Hello, thank you. We had a lot of friends. They loved the discussion. They were doing it on our side on Facebook Live also. You had Yulia, Aviv, Julia, Victoria. Great feedback. They love the music, the video, and everybody's leaving with something they didn't have when they came tonight. So a lot of hearts. Very good job, everybody.
And Frank dressed up for the occasion.
Thank you, Roberta. Thank you, Frank. Thank you all.
We'll see each other next week, community. Here's a hug.
Next
Thank
week.
you, everyone.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely to see you all.
Yes.
All right, so